cannot put out a promotional poster celebrating the 30 years of the WNBA, and there's no Caitlin Clark on it. And I'm saying to myself, I know I can't name half the women there. I guilty as charged. I am not a fan of it. I will never watch it. I don't care about it. But I do know who Caitlin Clark is. And for you to celebrate the 30 years of your sport that nobody has ever cared about until Caitlin Clark became a professional and not put her face, you're either brain dead, stupid, or you hate her.
Sometimes the loudest gossip is not gossip at all. Sometimes it's a public ritual. A person gets famous, gets visible, gets useful to the machine, and suddenly everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a verdict. Everybody is trying to explain why that person does or does not deserve to be there. But here's the thing about this Caitlin Clark conversation. It's much bigger than basketball. And it really doesn't matter if you like her, dislike her, whether you watch the WNBA or never watched the WNBA a day in your life. That's not the real lesson here. The real lesson is what happens when a person becomes a mirror. When somebody rises past, people stop seeing the person. Yeah, they stop seeing the person. They start seeing what they feel they were denied, the attention they never got, the praise that they believe should have gone somewhere else, the years of being overlooked, suddenly interrupted by one new face. And when that happens, jealousy rarely tells the truth. See, jealousy doesn't say, I'm jealous. No, jealousy says, this is unfair. Jealousy says, they're overhyped. Jealousy says, they didn't earn this. The system chose them. And look, sometimes there may be a real point buried inside of that criticism, but the hermit has to ask the deeper question. Are we seeing clearly, or are we watching a tribe react to a mirror? Because the moment a person becomes a symbol, people stop dealing with the person, they start fighting the meaning attached to them.
She is the most famous player. You can't put one of her teammates on the poster, which they did.
Did they?
And not put her on the poster.
Like it actually bothers me.
This is where the human lesson begins, because on the surface, people are arguing about a poster. But it's never just the poster. The poster is a symbol. Who gets placed in the center? Who gets left out? Who gets celebrated? Who gets treated like they don't belong? That's why this gets so emotional, because people are not arguing over design, they're arguing over recognition. And recognition is one of the deepest needs a human being has. You can survive being disliked. You can survive being criticized. But being erased, being made invisible, ooh, that hits something primal. That is where tribalism gets dangerous. You see, one side looks at Caitlin Clark and says, she brought new eyes to the league. Why would you leave her out? But another side says, why should she be centered when other people built the foundation before her? And both sides may have a piece of the truth. But once tribal identity takes over, nobody wants the full truth anymore anyway. They want the version that protects their wound. That's the lesson. The tribe doesn't ask, what is fair? The tribe asks, does this protect us? And when protection becomes more important than truth, people can justify damn near anything. Erasing somebody, over-celebrating somebody, calling resentment justice, calling favoritism fairness. That's why we have to step back. Not to pick a side, but to ask this. What wound is each side protecting?
Obviously, everyone's going to be trying to get the ball. But then Alyssa Thomas does this. Mind you, the ball is right here, and she is staring directly at Caitlin Clark. Puts her fist directly on Clark's throat.
Now, this is the part that pulls everyone in because it looks physical. It looks like sports. It looks like contact. It looks like that's just a part of the game. Okay, sometimes it is. Sports are physical. Stars do get challenged. People get tested. Competition is supposed to have pressure. But there's a line when competition stops being competition and starts being communication. And folks can feel it. I feel it. And you feel it too, I'm sure. See, they're not only asking, was that a foul? They're asking, what is being said here? Because aggression in human groups is not always random. Sometimes aggression is a message. It says, you do not belong here. It says, we do not accept your status. It says, popularity does not protect you. That's where envy becomes dangerous, because envy does not just want what you have. Envy wants to reduce you back down to size. It wants to make the shiny thing ordinary again. It wants to drag the person off the pedestal, not always because they did something wrong, but because their height is painful to look at. You see, that's the mirror effect. When someone's rise makes others feel smaller, some people do not work on themselves. No, they work on shrinking the mirror. And that's not just in sports. That's in family, work, social media, your comment section. That happens the moment you start changing, the moment you start getting disciplined, becoming visible, the moment you start building something real. People say they want you to win. Oh, they say they want you to win until your win starts revealing what they've refused to become.
Her fans don't. Her fans think anything done to Caitlin Clark is some larger conspiracy, is rooted in jealousy.
This is the most important part, because this is where one side says, this is jealousy, and the other side says, do not use that word. We can't be lazy here, because sometimes jealousy is used as a weapon to dismiss real criticism, but sometimes real jealousy hides behind political language, behind moral language, behind social language, behind group language. And people convince themselves that they're fighting for justice when they may actually be fighting from resentment. So the question is not simply, is this jealousy? The question is, what emotion is underneath the argument? Is it fairness? Is it historical pain? Is it fear of being replaced? Is it anger that someone new got credit for something others suffered through? Or is it resentment dressed up as principle? Because this is why public debates become so ugly. People are not only reacting to this moment, they're reacting to old wounds this moment touched. One person sees a basketball player. Another person sees a marketing machine. Another sees racial politics, favoritism, disrespect. Same event, 5 different mirrors, and everyone thinks their mirror is reality. That's tribalism. Tribalism is not just loving your group. No. Tribalism is when your group gives you permission to stop seeing clearly. That's why we can't let the group think for us. We must listen. We must watch. We must separate the event from the emotion. We must ask the question nobody wants to ask. Am I defending truth? Or am I just defending my tribe?
We have a generational talent and a WNBA superstar who had 2 cheap shots right there that weren't called. And I just say, again, absolutely unacceptable.
Caitlin Clark got to fight one of these women. She has to fight one of these women. Now they will know the next time they try you, they are going to have to fight. You might lose, but they're not going to want to fight you every single time. And the fact of the matter is, they treat you like a roach that's intruded into their house. And a roach that steps into your house, you step on. That's what the hell you do to a roach. And right now, Caitlin Clark, the WNBA athletes, they treat you like an insect. They just flick you around, they step on you, they shoot you around, they whoop you into the dustpan, open the window, and throw you the hell out. I'm not even saying fight them because you Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee. I'm just saying let somebody know, if you try me, we gonna have to tussle. That's it.
If you keep this up, there won't be no WNBA.
Wow. That's the non-overreaction.
Yo, if Caitlin Clark said, you know what, man, I'm done, yo. I'm going to take my rich, successful self somewhere else, it would be a wrap. What would they do? What would they do? If Caitlin Clark said, you know what, today I'm done with the WNBA, where would the WNBA be? It would be over. Fans, you know how it goes when she don't play. Attendance drops, viewership drops, money going to drop. All I'm saying is, when Michael Jordan was the man, the NBA made sure, all right, we can't be doing the Pistons. Y'all can't be doing it to him no more. Give me another star, LeBron. Right? They made this whole big thing about him going to different teams, all that. It's the king. Let's put that shit underneath the rug. So when you got a star player like that, I go even better. Quarterbacks in the NFL, they hurt Tom Brady's knee. Oh, from now on, no more. You can't tie the quarterback by their knees. That's dead, bro. If you don't take care of the young GOAT, What the hell is going to happen to the WNBA?
You don't have an 11-year, $77 billion contract. You are building the league. You just reached an incredible collective bargaining agreement. You understand they did a great job with that. The league is growing, and it's reaching some of its aspirations, no doubt, but there's still a lot more work to be done. Don't get in the way of the cash cow. You don't sit up there and pave a way for her and don't compete. Nobody's implying that. But you certainly ride that tidal wave of popularity and use it to your advantage to build the game, not compromise and hurt the game by taking her out whenever you get the opportunity to do so.
But here's another trap. You see, once people see somebody being mistreated, they can overcorrect. They stop protecting the person and start worshiping the person. And that's its own form of tribalism. You see, one tribe wants to tear her down. The other tribe says she can do no wrong. Both are off. Because the moment you turn a person into a symbol, you dehumanize them in both directions. The people who hate the symbol stop seeing the human. But the people who worship the symbol stop seeing the human too. They turn the person into a cause, into a flag, a weapon, a way to score points in arguments they were already having. That's why fame is dangerous. Oh, fame is very dangerous. The crowd does not want the full person. The crowd wants a usable version, the villain version, the victim version, the savior version, the proof of my politics version. But the Hermit rejects all of that. Oh, the Hermit rejects all of that. Protect people without worshiping them. Criticize folks without destroying them. Compete with people without trying to erase them. Because when a society loses that balance, every arena becomes the battlefield. Sports becomes politics. Entertainment becomes identity war. Gossip becomes tribal evidence. And everybody thinks they're fighting for justice, but a lot of people are really fighting from a wound.
I need more people like Stacey Dales to be speaking up. Like, the sports world is too quiet for me. I need people to be coming out of the woodwork because this shit is fucking unacceptable. I know people don't like Caitlin Clark. I know they don't want to ever acknowledge what she's done for the WNBA. I know women in the WNBA, black women as a whole, want to act like she's just irrelevant and act like any old person off the street that can dribble a basketball can waltz into the WNBA and do what Caitlin Clark does. I know that's the narrative surrounding her, but I need more people to speak up about this. This is not sports. This is not why we get into sports. This is not sportsmanship behavior.
This is where the lesson gets personal, because this is not just about Caitlin Clark. This is about what happens when you become visible. When you start winning, people will not just judge what you do. They will judge what your success makes them feel. That's why growth is lonely. You think people are reacting to your actions. Nah, many times they're reacting to your reflection. You lost weight. Now somebody else feels judged. You launch the business, and now somebody feels behind. You stop explaining yourself, and now somebody feels powerless. You became disciplined, became visible, got results, and now somebody feels exposed. So they do not say your rise makes me feel uncomfortable. No. They'll say, you changed. They'll say, you think you are better now. They'll say, you just got lucky. They'll say, you're not really like that. Different clothes, same pattern. The mirror shows people what they have not dealt with. And most people, they don't attack the wound. No. They attack the mirror. That's why the Hermit has to understand envy without becoming bitter. See, envy is information. It shows you where people feel deprived. But you cannot let someone else's deprivation become your prison. You can't shrink yourself to make the tribe feel comfortable. You can't apologize for becoming visible. And you can't spend your life trying to convince wounded people that your light is not an attack. Sometimes your existence disturbs people who have not made peace with themselves. That doesn't mean you hate them. It means you cannot let them define you. So, what's the actual lesson? It's not that Caitlin Clark is perfect. It's not that the WNBA is evil. It's not that one group good, one group bad. That's too small. The real lesson is this. Human beings become dangerous when they confuse envy with justice. Dangerous when they mistake tribal loyalty for truth. Dangerous when they stop seeing a person and start seeing a symbol. Because once a person becomes a symbol, people will weaponize them for whatever war they're already fighting inside themselves. Some people will hate them because they represent change. Some people will worship them because they represent revenge. Some people will defend them just to attack another group. Some will attack just to defend their own. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, the actual human being disappears. That's the warning. Don't let the tribe steal your eyes. Don't let the crowd tell you who to hate. Don't let envy put on a moral costume and convince you that it's wisdom. And most of all, don't get attached so much to your group that you lose your ability to tell the truth. The hermit, we see the pattern. The hermit watches the emotion behind the argument. The hermit knows most people are not reacting to reality. They're reacting to the wound reality touched. And when you understand that, you stop getting dragged into every public fight. You stop needing a hero. You stop needing a villain. You stop mistaking noise for insight. Because sometimes the real question is not who's right. Sometimes the real question is, what is this revealing in us? And if you can ask that question while everyone else is screaming and hollering, you are no longer trapped inside the tribe. You're finally outside the noise.